Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I'm doing something I don't think I've ever actually done before. I am going out of my way to defend Susan Wojcicki. Now, many of you probably know who this is. If you don't know who Susan Wojcicki is, she is the former CEO of YouTube. I believe it was like last year or the year before. She finally stepped down and a new CEO took over at YouTube, and obviously since she was the CEO for such a long time, her career spanned so much history on the platform, she was pretty widely disliked by the YouTube community. And a lot of it, truthfully, I would say wasn't even necessarily her doing. It was just more or less the fallout of other events that were more or less unrelated to her, like the adpocalypse and stuff like that. Now, Susan Wojcicki is somebody, just for the record here, that I have criticized plenty in the past. I mean, I've probably made dozens of videos on this channel where her name has been brought up as one of the people that I've critiqued. And I think as somebody who has such a long-standing history of criticizing and kind of shitting on Susan Wojcicki, that it's pretty terrible and sad to see the reaction to some pretty tragic news involving her and her 19-year-old son, Marco Troper, who recently passed away. So Susan Wojcicki, I didn't even know this. She had a son who, from what I've read online, was a student at UC Berkeley, and they found him passed away in his dorm room. He was 19 years old. It is right now, according to the grandmother, suspected to be a drug overdose, possibly laced with fentanyl or something like that, right? So, I mean, 99.9% of people, right? Like the normal population of the planet, right? You hear that news and you feel empathy for somebody, right? Because even if it's somebody that you dislike, like Susan Wojcicki, the fact that her 19-year-old son just died in a pretty tragic and avoidable way, and she now has to go through the terrible grief of burying your own child, right? Most people see that situation and they feel empathy for somebody, right? Because we all realize that, like, man, being a parent and losing your child to such a tragic thing has to be absolutely heart-crushing and devastating, right? But unfortunately, the internet is not a normal place. It's not filled with a ton of normal people, right? There's a lot of really sad, miserable, pathetic-ass people online who, whenever anything bad happens, right, any sort of bad news comes along, these people jump out of the woodworks to, like, celebrate, to be excited, to be happy. Just it to be contrarian, I don't know, maybe to be edgy, maybe this is how people really feel, I don't really know, but like I said, I mean, I've been doing YouTube for fucking 12 years now, this year, right? So the majority of my entire career on this platform has been overseen directly by Susan Wojcicki. And during her time with the company, I mean, I got blackballed from meeting and talking with YouTube because I spoke out in favor of other creators. You know, plenty of adpocalypses in different situations that have probably taken hundreds of thousands of dollars genuinely out of my pocket. So many different things, right? Like I said, I've made so many videos talking about all these different things. But I'm not gonna sit here and fucking celebrate somebody's child dying, because that's weird, man. There's nothing fucking normal about that, right? Like, this guy had nothing to do with anything that she did at work. This guy had nothing to do with any decisions made by YouTube as a company during her time working for them. But there are actually people out there online right now who are, like, celebrating the news of this woman's child dying, right? Just fucking weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a look at it, because, like, they vary too. It's not even just people like memeing, right? Because that happens with every death. I mean, remember when, like, Queen Elizabeth died and everybody was just fucking pouncing on that one, making whatever memes that they could? This isn't really a very similar situation, right? Because Susan Wojcicki wasn't the one that died here, and even if she did, I think it'd be a far stretch to celebrate her passing away because she, I guess, was bad at her job. But there's people, like, conspiracizing about vaccines. There's people talking about, like, the potential that this kid was murdered in retaliation by small YouTube creators. Like, dude, there are actually mentally disturbed people right now just fucking venting online about this kid dying. So a fellow YouTuber by the name Paige Christie tweeted out, you know, oh, YouTube's ex-CEO Susan, her son was just found dead in his dorm room. He was 19, this is sad. And then somebody comments under it and says, shouldn't have started screwing over small creators. Maybe the suspect decided to take matters into their own hands. All right, so what the fuck do I even say to start this off, right? So, yes, this YouTube user is genuinely suggesting that the former CEO of YouTube's son died in a drug overdose because I guess some small creators who got screwed over by her policy changes might have taken matters into their own hands. Shrug emoji, by the way, this woman's son just died. I didn't really like her job as the YouTube CEO, so maybe some creators got mad enough and fucking murdered her kid. Ha 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 ha. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like, dude, what is wrong with you people, dude? What is actually wrong in your fucking head where, like, this is the take that you have? Like, you realize normal people, when they're scrolling through the internet and they see some news like, oh, CEO's child dies from drug overdose. Normal people don't immediately start spinning and concocting a web of murder mystery about their child being fucking killed. What is wrong with you, you Delulu psychopath? So this is definitely one of the weirder examples of this, right? Now, like I said, the reactions have been very ranged. A lot of people have shown some sympathy for Susan Wojcicki in this moment. Some people are making jokes about it, but that's about as far as they're going. And some people seem to be like, I don't know, giddy with excitement that this kid died because his mom was the former CEO of YouTube. I'm not even really, I'm not making the connection here that makes it to where like you think that this is a W. Right? Because these people, I don't know if they think like he was the underling at YouTube under her control or something here or whatever, but like this kid is first off 19 years old, okay? He is a young adult. He is fresh into life. This is a pretty sad reality regardless of the circumstances. Nobody should really die that young, right? That's kind of the idea we all have. Like no one wants to hear about a 19-year-old dying from an overdose in college, right? That's sad. This is somebody who had their entire life ahead of them, right? He was in college at UC Berkeley, so he was clearly on the right path trying to, focus his life down a certain career field. And I mean, that's the thing about drug overdoses and drugs in general, man. People seem to think or have this idea in mind that, right, like only poor people die from drugs, only poor people give a fuck about drugs. There's classes to drugs. Rich people do drugs, middle class people do drugs, poor people do drugs. Anyone from any of these categories can die from drugs. It just depends on which ones they're doing by which money that they have and how they get it, right? Poor people might, break into houses and steal money so they can go buy crack, while rich kids, if their mom is the CEO or former CEO of YouTube and they probably have a little nest egg of money to sit on, right? They can buy pretty much anything they want. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, this kid's mom was rich, therefore I think it's great that he passed away. Or, oh, his mom maybe did a worse job than I expected her to as the CEO of YouTube. I'm glad he's dead. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Isn't it ironic that the woman who insisted on being the moralizing mom for the entire world through draconian censorship practices failed as a mom to keep her own son from the path of drug abuse and death? Troper appears to have died of a drug overdose. With all the livelihoods and families destroyed by Wojcicki's radical censorship policies, I can't shed a tear when karma hits back. Yeah, because you're mentally disturbed, dude. You have mental illnesses that you're not getting treated. That's not something to brag about. That's not something to be happy about. Oh, I can't shed a tear when karma hits back. First off, this isn't karma. This is a complete misunderstanding of what the word karma means. Karma is not when unfortunate circumstances happen to unrelated people who are related to the people you dislike. That's not karma. Second off, whatever her policies or whatever at YouTube were, that has nothing to do with the fact that her fucking child died, you actual weirdo. Was she insisted on being the moralizing mom for the entire world through censorship practices? By the way, pretty much everything that YouTube has done when it comes to like censorship and demonetization and things, these all exist on all the other platforms too. I've uploaded most of them, the ones that you think of, right? Like I've uploaded content to Facebook before, and honestly, their monetization policies are 10 times as strict as YouTube's are. I constantly was demonetized and censored more on Facebook than I've ever been on YouTube. Second off, not all of these decisions were made directly and expressly by Susan Wojcicki. I think that's where a lot of the misunderstanding comes from. Everybody looks at things like the adpocalypses and they go, oh, well, look at what Susan Wojcicki did. Like, yes, she is the CEO, she's the face of the company, but these are decisions decisions that are made by thousands upon thousands of different people, probably spanning outside of just YouTube's leadership and up into the actual Google ladder itself. So you're basically applying principles that thousands of these employees all acted out to this one woman because her son passed away, and you think that all of that is a reason to just apparently like not care or almost kind of poke and prod at the fact that her child died. You're a fucking weirdo, dude. It's that simple. These people, they're trying to pretend like, oh, I'm the morally superior one, man. I'm anti-censorship. Get it? I want a good YouTube CEO, man. I'm morally superior. And then they start basically like laughing and mocking the fact that someone's child died. Like, what's wrong with you people, dude? Somebody in the Optimus Twitter community also posted a screenshot of an interaction they had with some random person, and apparently this is all good because of COVID. I don't know. So YouTube didn't make the vaccine nor force people into quarantine. So again, what does this have to do with her son? YouTube actively censored anyone critical of them and the methods the government was taking. You can lie all you want, but I saw people getting beat up by the police for stepping outside their houses. Then after it got published on YouTube, it was taken down for misinfo. Again, what does her son have to do with this? Shitty policies come and bite you in the ass. She censored COVID mandates, and if her son died of a blood clot to the lung, heart, and head, like my aunt, it would be poetic. These are people just admitting openly like, wow, I really need to go to therapy. Like, dude, you're sitting here like extrapolating this situation in hopes that it matches the situation of your aunt dying so you can feel somehow mentally vindicated in the fact that someone's child died. But yeah, you're the totally normal and reasonable and rational person, bro. You're the one everybody should be siding with here. Also, YouTube actively censored anyone critical of them. I mean, kinda, but I mean, this is just a complete overreach. Like, dude, I've made probably 100+ videos just ripping and shredding and tearing into YouTube, and I'm still on the platform. Granted, I have been blackballed from having meetings with the company and whatnot like I used to, but this like pretending that like everybody who says anything bad about YouTube just fucking disappears from the platform, not true whatsoever. And this is somebody who is still like talking about COVID and the vaccine and mandates and shit 4 years after it happened. Literally none of this has anything to do with her child. It's weird how quickly people on the internet will jump to like celebrate some innocent dude's death when society claims, oh, we got to take mental health seriously. We need to take drug addiction seriously. We need to do everything we can to stop this fentanyl overdose crisis happening in America. And then the moment it happens to a relative of somebody everybody dislikes, these people are fucking jumping up and down, just jumping up and down, celebrating, fucking whooping and cheering about it. Well, she had a different opinion than me on the COVID vaccines and misinformation. So it's funny her child's dead. Like, I don't know if I'm the only person in the world who can do this, but I actually can have different political viewpoints than people and not wish them and their children death. I don't know when this became like a normal part of society, that when people have disagreements over things or they have different viewpoints, they just now think it's awesome to hope everybody involved on the other side of it dies. But like, what the fuck is wrong with you people, man? These people they're just sad. Let's just call it for what it is. I mean, these are people that need to go to therapy, that need to get some fucking mental health treatment. I mean, this dude sitting here boo-hooing about his aunt passing away, which I get because like it obviously hurt him or whatever, but like you're sitting here celebrating somebody else dying and, you know, just oh, well, if her son died like my aunt died, then I mean, it'd be poetic because my aunt didn't deserve to die, but your child deserves to. Like, I don't know, these people are fucking weird, man. It's so odd. Like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Susan Wojcicki. I wasn't a super huge fan of her policies or anything, right? But I feel like there's so much better and more productive uses of your time than sitting around like whooping and cheering on the fact that her child just tragically died in a college dorm room because you have your own personally, I guess, unprioritized or untaken care of problems in your own life. Just realistically, it's Twitter being Twitter. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. New video just came out for you guys today, by the way. And yeah, with all that being said, until my next video, guys, this is Optimus talking about Susan Wojcicki, and also rest in peace to her son, by the way. I did not mention that throughout this video, but rest in peace to him. And signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but a big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs here. Your support with just $10 a month unlocks a treasure trove of exclusive videos, constantly updated, archived live stream VODs, and early access to all new uploads. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.